Well, good evening. This is Shirley Durst here from Shirley Art Ventures, and I'm going to talk to you tonight a little bit about what I do with jewelry. I am a seed bead weaver, and I really love the little tiny 11-0 beads. So this is a sample here, and here are some 8-0 beads that I also like. And here's another sample of my little tiny 11-0 beads. I have been doing jewelry, oh boy, about 15 years. I started doing jewelry when I got a kit. It was one of those subscription kits and I got it. So I made it and then I bought some books and I started weaving and doing designs, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but then I started learning. I started really following the directions and I really worked on my different stitches, and now I really don't do stitches. I just do kind of random designs to make things that are interesting and truly unique. I'm also a member of 14 South Artists, and I got to know them about 6 years ago when I started doing watercolor painting. And I tried to get juried in with watercolor painting, but I was brand new at it, but I've been doing the jewelry like 10 years, and they really liked what I did with jewelry. So I'm just gonna show you some things I've done with some jewelry. This spring I was going to teach at the Bead and Button show, but that kind of fell through with the COVID virus thing. This is one thing I was going to teach there. This is a flower that I made, and that is from a photograph. I took the photograph and I gridded it out and I made it into a flower using the peyote stitch. I was going to teach people how to do that. Another thing they had at the bead show, they had a challenge. And the challenge was to take some beads that we bought years ago or sometime in the past and make them into something. So I bought all these beads several years ago to make a bracelet, and I had all these left over. So I was going to make this little purse to put your credit card in, and it was going to have a handle on it, but the bead show got canceled, so the purse really never got done. But that's waiting, so hopefully the bead show will come back. Oftentimes I'm very eclectic with what I make. At first I would make my projects, then I would sort my beads and put them all away. Well, now, heaven forbid, I don't sort my beads, so I just have a whole bunch of random beads sitting out there, and I will try to pull them together to be something truly unique. So like this necklace here, as you can see, it has a whole bunch of random beads in it, but between the random beads are like these fake pearls and some other beads I had lying around my house. So this way I can use up what's in my tray, make it unique, make it very different, and people seem to really like that. Another thing, here's another kind of random bead thing I did. Here's the back of it, and I just made this design up and it became three-dimensional, and I had these other random beads that I added to the front. I added fringe to it, and then I made a beaded rope. So truly unique. If you ever see my designs, they're usually one of a kind. Not everything is one of a kind. I also will teach classes in jewelry, and those are not one of a kind, but I kind of like the one of the kind things. I bought this thing in the middle a long time ago, and it's been sitting there, and I decided that it was time to bead around it. So this is more not so random like. So I would put these pearls on, and then I added this chain, which is a 3 herringbone chain, which is kind of a fun thing to do because it has a twist to it, and you can add beads along the way. And this is going to be a very beautiful, elegant necklace. I many times work on many things at once. I usually have like 3 to 5 projects going on at once, and then everything gets done, and then I put them in my displays, and they're really cool and they're really different. A friend of mine said I should do hair adornments. Well, actually I did hair adornments like 10 years ago, and I sold them at the nursing home. I did a lot of them. I sold a lot of them, and I wear them all the time. So I decided that, hair adornments is something that most people don't do. So here is a little hair adornment that I did, and this is another one that I was going to teach in the bead class that got canceled. And I wear these in my hair all the time. So in my random beads that I work with, this is a bracelet I started working on. These are 8/0s, and you know, I kind of ran out of them, but as I get more into my collection, I will keep adding on to this, and eventually it will get long enough to be a bracelet. How I like to finish my bracelets is I like to use magnets now, because they're easy to get on and you don't have to try to do a class, and I will put a safety chain with the magnet. This one is a herringbone stitch, and I also have a bracelet that's a peyote stitch, which is a very smooth, nice stitch to have. You know, when I initially purchased items at the beginning of my jewelry making career, I got the least expensive beads I can find, which I found out that, you know, they're not the best beads. So now I really look to get better beads. I want to have the Japanese seed beads. I want to have the Swarovski crystals. Actually, I got the Swarovski crystals early on because I really like the shiny and the bling. Don't look at the packaging. The shiny and the bling of the Swarovski crystals. So you know, in learning to do jewelry, it's been a lot of fun. People have come up to me saying that my jewelry is actually very different than anybody else's out there. So I do have a niche in the jewelry field, and I'm so glad I could share some of this with you. 14 South artists have helped me a lot. They said I've underpriced myself. I should price my jewelry higher, which I still have a hard time doing, especially after all that work. You know, I really need to price it higher. And I've learned how to do my displays better. I've learned how to do lighting better. I've just learned so much from 14 South artists. I feel like a real connection to these people. So, you know, and with what's going on in the world, you know, we have to connect in different ways. So doing these videos, you know, you'll probably see more of me because I have other stuff to share. And I'm so glad I can share it with you. So thank you so much for spending a little time with me looking at some of my jewelry and what I do and what I love to do. And I just don't do this. I also work full-time at the nursing home, which I love that too. So you guys have a great day, and love you too.